So this place really is so special. I feel like you can feel how alive all of these meadows are. Everywhere you look, there's so much colour, and it is really as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, no, Chancellor's Farm's like such a special place. There's just so few places that are like this in the UK now. The statistic that we always hear is that we've lost 97% of species-rich hay meadows since the 1930s. And a lot of that was because of artificial fertilisers being put on the fields and then also ploughing them up as well for arable fields, which is why it's so important to sort of protect somewhere like Chancellor's that is just so diverse and so species-rich. So we've got maps from the 1820s that show that these were all managed as species-rich hay meadows. And we're still managing it in probably very much the same way as they were like 200 years ago, with more machinery, cutting it once a year to harvest the hay to then feed to the livestock that we have on the farm.
If you wanted to make a Chancellor's from scratch, you couldn't?
Not really. I mean, it would take a couple of hundred years. So I've been here for about 17 years now, and I came here as an estate worker, so yeah, helping do the practical management on the farm. Well, as soon as I came here, I just absolutely fell in love with the place. It changes through the seasons. It can be quite bleak up here in the winter. We're a little bit higher, a little bit more exposed. But then as soon as spring arrives and the place just comes alive, we've got the swallows arriving, you have the bluebells coming up, which you generally think is a woodland plant, but because of the meadows being undisturbed for so long, it's meant that bluebells persist. And then later on in the season, you'll have things like the knapweed, this one that will come out, and that will completely change the character of the meadows again. And it'll just be a haze of purples and pinks, which is absolutely fantastic. So this one here is a chalk fragrant orchid. It's called a fragrant orchid because it's supposed to smell like orange peel of an evening to attract moths. We've got like quite a few other orchids here as well. We've got heath spotted and common spotted orchid. This one here is a lovely little one called eyebright because the little flowers look like eyes. This one's very special. Yellow rattle. I've also heard it being called the meadow maker. So what it does is it suppresses the grass growth and then allows all the wildflowers to come up around it. So that is used quite a lot for sort of meadow restoration work. And this one here is betony. You generally get large numbers of betony only in sort of ancient hay meadows. So probably a lot of these plants have been here for a very long time.
I suppose losing a place like this impacts more than just Chancellor's. It impacts the wider landscape.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What we need for nature recovery is having places like this dotted around the landscape that species can use to spread out. Pollinators can use them as stepping stones. There needs to be that connectivity through the landscape. You get into the actual sward and you can see all the invertebrates that rely on it. So you can have all the solitary bees, the bumblebees. You'll see damselflies flying around, and then you've got all the insectivorous birds that then rely on those. So you'll have the swallows. We also have barn owls on the site in the barns over there, and they rely on the sort of longer grass there that has all the field voles in it that they'll be hunting of an evening.
So speaking of habitat connectivity, each of these meadows is separated by a dry stone wall, but that in itself is a really good habitat.
They're incredible connectivity for reptiles, amphibians, things like slow worms. We found adders in them as well, common lizards. If you take adders, for example, they're actually faring a little bit better on Mendip than they are in the wider UK. And a lot of the reason for that is because of the connectivity, because of the dry stone walls that we've got on here that they can use to disperse throughout the landscape. A lot of the farm is grazed by ruby red Devons, so it's a traditional breed of cattle. Very docile breed, very friendly, very lovely. Got two in here, got one bull called Wilbur. They're essential for grazing the hay meadows after we cut the hay. So Chancellor's Farm, there's been a building here since early 16th century. Long-term goal is to sort of restore this as a pond as well.
Yes.
Like pond. There's lots of old like timbers in the attic that are really, really ornate, and they think that they were taken from a medieval hall that was somewhere near.
You have to be careful where you walk. Yeah. I'm seeing so many little like grasshoppers as I go. They all spring out of the way.
This field is called Newlands. It's probably a little bit better for invertebrates. It's a little bit more sheltered, so you get more of your butterflies and your solitary bees and your bumblebees.
You can just see them
Yeah.
as you look across.
Places like Chancellor's only exist because they've been managed in a traditional way for generations. It's such a rare habitat and rare to have this kind of size of meadow. We're launching an appeal to ask members of the public and members of the Somerset Wildlife Trust to donate to help secure this site and make sure that the Somerset Wildlife Trust can manage it in a way that we have been in a traditional way for generations to come.